So, what is the definition of a real, true friend? It took me a long time to get to know that. Does a friend just say everything you want to hear? Does a friend have your back? Does a friend expect you to do everything and anything for them? Do friends use friends? This is a good question. This is something that needs to be talked about because you know what? I'm a loner. I'm a loner in Augusta. I do not have a bona fide real friend here. Not one. I'm going to warn people, if you get butthurt, if you're a snowflake, if you get easily offended, if you don't like what I have to say about my observations, which are 100% accurate about a race of people, you're not going to want to tune in. Okay? Hello, Fred. Hello, Cheryl. No, I slept till 2 in the morning. Sometimes I just piddle around in the morning and then I decide to get online. How are you, Cheryl? Yes, Hugh, but you know what I've noticed about human nature, Hugh? Everybody has a motive. So what's going on with that? Do you drink a lot of caffeine? Try cutting all of that out. Some people can't handle any caffeine. It gives them a headache. I had that girl in Hong Kong could not drink a Coca-Cola. Caffeine is not good for a lot of people. Got some pain in my right heel. These steel-toed shoes. It's funny, my left foot is fine. Hello, Colette. How are you? And welcome. My heel's been hurting. I need to soak it in a bucket of hot water tonight when I get home. Epsom salts. Got to do some self-treatment. Well, thank you, Hugh. Yeah, you got to. We punish our bodies. We take it for granted. My feet, I'm standing and moving and climbing and literally all day at work. If you saw what I had to do, climbing 30 feet in the air, yeah, true story. Straight up the front of ProMades, like Crazy Climber and the old video game. If a part's too heavy, I'll come back down and I'll get somebody and say, we got to get a forklift and lift that off. I'm not going down the front of that with that in my hand and I need both hands to climb. I had two what I thought best friends for 13 years in Duluth, John and Jeff. JJ. John was not a Christian. Jeff wasn't either. They both became Christian. And, I made mistakes. I would complain to John a lot about my problems, and John did not have problems. John had a wife who made $100,000+ a year. John had a family that loved and favored him over his brother. And everything worked for John. And I was too young and immature. I was renting apartments and I had problems with neighbors and noise and all the crap. And he used to say, you just got problems. And looking back, I should have realized John was spoiled. John had life handed to him. It took me years to realize there's just some people we don't belong with. They'll never understand. People who don't suffer never understand people who do. Good morning, Anne. Hello, Lawrence. Wow, Cheryl, that's crazy. Oh, it's 4:47. Cheryl and I are in the same time zone. Good morning, Harvey. Hugh, I appreciate that. I'd meet up with you, but I don't drink. I never like, but shoot, it'd be fun to meet people that are on the channel. Yesterday reminded me something about human nature. And I know that this can be a downer, but sometimes human nature is ugly. It's very sobering when you realize you go to work, you do your job, and a coworker now twice has told me I work too hard, slow down. Interpretation, you're making me look bad. Hey, that's your problem, bud. I don't have to do things at your pace. And then he started to talk rude to me. It's like, are you forgetting you're 30-something years old? And I prayed this morning. I said, you know, God, it doesn't matter where I go. There are always people that will try to steal your joy, try to drag you down, the crab bucket mentality. There's a gal that took me to the hospital when I got injured years ago at a store here. We keep in touch. She's black. She's nice. She's funny. She's got a sense of humor. And I consider her to be a friend. We don't hang out. Her lifestyle is different than mine, but she reaches out. I reach out to her. I've had a few people that I thought were friends, and I realized, nah. When I was going through the stuff I was going through at work, at the bus job, one said, I'm your friend no matter what. I'm not ashamed to be seen with you. And I said, could we do a YouTube short together? We won't talk about that. She absolutely did not. And I didn't jump on her or anything. I thought she doesn't want to be seen with me on here. Folks, I'm going to tell you something, and it's become very, very real. I don't need to say over and over I'm not racist, but the African American community does not think the way we think. To believe that they do is fallacious. The way they view the world, the way they look at things. I see this in my current workplace. I saw it next at the job that I had, and one of the things that bothers me is the black community is like a brother and sisterhood. They got a lot of crime against each other, but if there's whites and blacks in a workplace, they're going to side with each other. They don't have your back. They never have your back. They will not have your back. And I don't think that way. That's what separates me from them. I will always stand up for the underdog, no matter what sex they are, ethnicity they are, The same cannot be said about them. The same cannot. They will never let you in close. They will never let you in close. They want something from you. They want to use you. They want to take advantage of your kindness. But that's it. That's it. Absolutely, Robert. Robertson. Oh, I like that. I work at a warehouse. And people are human. None of us is perfect. That's not what I'm talking about. Wow, my sock stuck to the Velcro of my sandal. That's fun. Suppose I should turn on the light. Oh, I should be having my foot soaked in a bucket of water. My supervisor, did you hurt your knee? I said, no. I said, I think these shoes suck. But guess what? This boy get up and go to work and be a big boy and suck it up because I'm not pounding on my foot. But it's amazing how much abuse our feet take. Hey, Justice, how are you? I'm a loner too. I find myself getting irritated with some people when they're up close to me. We all have an affect. We have an affect. This sounds stupid, but eating stuff and talking is not good. Don't eat and talk. Yes, I cut off another camisole. I made 2 for 1. I don't care what anybody says. I think that's resourceful. And I'm glad I did a 3-minute short saying I love wearing women's clothing. It's freeing. I finally said it. I can just refer all the trolls back to that and say, there it is. Yeah, it's not the ankle, Colette. It's the bottom of the right heel. I wear these steel-toed shoes. They're not exactly high on comfort. They're Brahma brand. I will never get those again. You have to pay more for comfort. Leftovers. Polished it off. Robertson is, I think it's different for males. I think it's easier for women to get along and have friendships. I don't know why. I said, I will never have a man live in my house. Never. Well, hello, Plebix. Look at the little hearts. That's cute. Plebix loves coffee. I don't think I have those. I've never had them. I've been on my feet a lot, but I think it's the shoes are crappy. Spurs are awful. Yeah, Franny, I've got inserts. I got one. I need to put the other one in the. They're breaking down. They're microcarbon. I need to go to a foot person to have some new ones made. They charge so much for everything, though. Oh my gosh. No, because you know what? Shoes are manufactured cheap, even though they charge outrageous. You remember None of us had it when we were kids. But you go back to old Europe, they had a cobbler, and it wasn't pie. People think a cobbler, the peach cobbler. A cobbler made shoes, and they made shoes to fit you. Your foot is like a reverse truck leaf spring. Leaf springs are shaped like this. They hook to the frame, and the axle's there, and the leaf spring is designed to flatten with bumps, with weight, with a load, and absorb. The foot is a reverse leaf spring. When you step on it, it's flattening out. If you don't have arch support, you can get plantar fasciitis, which I've had for years. I have to move around. I can walk 26 miles at a crack. No problem. Standing in one place all day? No. I cannot walk around barefoot except on a sandy beach. Cannot. The floor is too flat for my feet. And you get into these shoes and they don't have proper arch support. But yesterday something happened. It colored the day, no pun intended. And I thought, was it about somebody from another race that feels their famous line is stay in your own lane, but they'll jump in others? Twice now he's told me and it had nothing to do with him. Basically yesterday he was coasting. I'd have a lot of stuff to do and I'm like, where is he? You walk by and he's out talking to somebody, bullshitting. And I'm not the boss. I don't say anything. I just keep on a steady path. Somebody called the supervisor who had already left work to go get his kids. He called me out. Mike, come out. I need to talk to you. I said, what is going on? Trying to play boss. The turtle always wins. I said, what are you talking about, dude? You got to slow down. You're always going 50 miles an hour. I said, dude, you can't make that happen. I roll the way I roll. I don't even know why that's bothering you. I get stuff done. Yeah, but like these, I said, we can just do them tomorrow. I said, why not do them today? Then they're done. The problem is they don't have to be done today. I said, okay. So tomorrow we come in and we get tickets and we get bombed with pick tickets. And why? I said, this is easy. Why don't we just do it? Well, he went out and did it when I wasn't looking. And the truth is, I realized because somebody else at that place said it. I didn't say anything to anybody. I walked in to the warehouse and I just said, man, people tell me to slow down. I can't slow down. I didn't yell. We didn't have a brouhaha. Somebody right away called the super and said, there's some tension. There's a skirmish going on. It's like, oh my. I said, well, whoever did that was unnecessary. Then I started thinking about it. No, Michael, that's good because it's drawing attention to this now. And I noticed that the cat that started this said, I'm sorry, I didn't mean to make you come all the way down here. He goes, no, I need to solve problems. And I said, well, there's no problem to solve here. He said, you got something against Mike? No. Does he have something against me? And I was silent for a minute. He goes, do you have something? And I stood there. I thought, okay, first of all, this is awkward. I'm not going to be able to answer the question because this guy's a loose cannon. I do have something against him. I'm a grown man and you're telling me what to do. You're telling me to be a slouch, slough off. He works when he works. But when he gets done with a certain task, he'll just float off somewhere and I don't see him for a while. I'm not his supervisor. And I'm going to be very honest with you. The culture out here is very counter to what I've known. and I'm not going to rehash this over and over, but I'm not a fan of this culture. Hey, Oz, how are you? You shouldn't have to go to your work. I'm all right. You shouldn't have to go to your work and have somebody trying to do stuff like that. I didn't get rude. I'm always polite. Well, dude, that's the way I roll. You're never going to change me. Might as well just accept it. And what's funny, watch this. This community will start something, starts a chain reaction, a ball rolling. Somebody else from another department called. Supervisor comes down. He's got to leave, go get his kids, and has to come back and deal with this. I said, I didn't do anything. I said, he called me out, told me I'm going too fast. And I called him when I got home. I said, I don't like this. I came here to work. I'm not here to get into it. And I said, I did not. He goes, no, I see what's going on. You're not the problem here. I said, but I will tell you on the QT, this is twice. I'm a grown man, got more experience in this, and he think he can come up and tell me that. And then when he got sideways with me in front of you, he said, just answer him. I said, excuse me, I'll answer the way I need to answer. You're not going to control that. Why is it that race got to be the dominant? I had a guy at transportation come down to the pumps. I was working on the bus, in the bus with the window down. Mike, you brought a bus up to my bay. And I started to tell him. I said, yeah, it had this. I said, I was told, I don't need to hear all that. I don't. And I leaned out the window. I said, if you don't want to hear what I have to say, then don't ask. You're not going to tell me how I'm going to talk. Well, shit, man, I don't need all this explanation. Now, this guy's a fucking idiot. And that's why I hated transportation. They didn't deal with that. They protected their own. I was harassed. This guy was an idiot. He'd been there 20 years. He wrecked a bus. They didn't fire him for 2 months. And now the director who let that shit go on as well is under fire by the board. And he should be. They're asking, why are so many drivers leaving? What's going on down there? Fire them. Do what they did to me. Fire him, fire HR and the superintendent. Because none of them are doing a good job. God has a way of coming around, even to unbelievers. And it bothers me because I live in a very charged environment down here. And I think, great, what's the mood going to be this morning? Will he even come in today? Personally, I hope he just ditches. Because he's been doing that. Fridays and Mondays, thinks, oh, time to call in and make a 3-day weekend out of it. That's being duly noted by management. And it's like, good grief, I didn't even do anything. And now I'm being called out to explain. I called him, I said, look, I work for you. I work for the company. I don't butt kiss. He goes, no, you're a rock star. He said, I don't see you doing that. I see the way you're wound. And he said, keep doing what you're doing. He's trying to go to bat to get me a raise. Because people don't work the way I work. Not down here. All this grandstanding and bragging. I'm going to stop. But friends, these people at work are not your friends. These people are not your friends. These coworkers are never your friends. When you think somebody's your friend, give it time. The real them will show up. One I thought was a friend at I had a Southside 4, doesn't call back, doesn't answer the phone. What the heck happened? I called somebody to give me a ride to pick up my truck or drop it off when I had it serviced. Paid her $20. It's sad I don't have the kind of friends. I hate to bother you. Can you give me a lift over here? And then when they need a hand. But what happens is somebody does you a favor, even though you paid them, then they want you to come and do all this shit for them. Yeah, I'll give you a little money for it. A little money? Code word for you're going to do the bulk of their work and they're going to give you chump change. And then I started this job. I'm tired. And when I get my time off, I don't really feel like doing somebody else's home improvement. I just don't. Neeks! Humanity disgusts me too, Spicer, and I love people, and I don't love them. You understand the dichotomy? I love people, and I don't love people. And maybe that's why I struggle with looking at erotic art so much. I go into my own fantasy world because it's safe. It's a pleasure and reward center of the brain. Most people today are doing a controlled substance. They're doing weed, drinking, spending, or eating. I don't do any of those. I eat, but my metabolism burns it off. The more power and horsepower in a machine, the more fuel it's going to consume. I'm a small guy, but my output is massive. I always tell people, I'm not a hot rod. I'm not a Lamborghini or a Bugatti. I'm a earth mover. The kind of diesel engine that fires up and runs nonstop. I love the sound of those old heavy equipment firing up. You see all that black smoke come puking out of the stack? Workhorse engines. You can count on them. They're not made for speed, but they're made for moving mountains. What bothers me is there's evil people in the world. Some of them you get to work with. Living alone is safer. I had the best roommate I could have ever had in here. Not one problem. And I said, Lord, protect me. Let this guy run his own leash out and let management, and again, I can't say things because I'm privy to some stuff now. Why is it that people in this world that are fucked up, pardon my French, got to mess with, involve with, interfere with, step out of their lane, and then when they get in trouble, they'll blame it on the white guy. No, you did this. You did this. You pulled me outside. You played boss. You did this and somebody else called. This had nothing to do with me. It's you, babe. Stop and genuflect. I didn't turn you in for fucking around. You turned yourself in because it was communicated to me that some people went and did overtime, and one of the owners pulled up and saw a couple people sitting on their ass Somebody else said, yeah, he only worked an hour. I said, an hour? Then calls out Monday. Well, there goes that hour of overtime. They're not your friends. It's where you make your money. I love how everywhere I go, there's always somebody that's going to try to control Michael and rein him in. And when they can't, they think they're macho, they think they're badass, but then their spirit is just rah because they can't control me. And I said when I was cleaning up last night, I said, young man, you better watch it because that snake's about to bite you on your own ass, and you're the one that went and stuck your hand in the snake hole. I didn't do it. I couldn't do it, Sonia. Oh my gosh, I could not do it. I did an office job for 3 months. Thank you for bringing that up. I'm too high strung for that. I mean, even when I'm working, I'm guilty of making noises. I'm moving stuff. I'm moving fast, packing stuff. Got to foam heavy parts. And I'm like, I do that. Nobody's annoyed by it. Most people are like, man, I wish I had your energy. And I have fun at what I do. It's got to be done. Just sit there and bitch about it. Just get it done. There's something addicting. I'll go to the guy. You got any more tickets? Yeah, here. Thank you. The more work, the faster the time goes by. People want to stand around and bullshit a long day. So what do red and black ants do? I have no idea. I know one thing, if I was to dump a bunch of black ants on these fire ant hills, it'd be a war. It'd be a war. I want to thank people for being supportive of the channel. Not financially. I wish that happened. Some have, but you guys come here for community. You guys accept my real genuineness. And people like to put us in a box. They can't do it with me. This South down here has never and never will see a guy like me ever in their ever. And when people don't understand something, they do one of two things. They're frightened by it, or they have a hatred towards it. If you were to see a rhinoceros beetle for the first time, you'd be frightened and want to kill it or run. When you read about a rhinoceros beetle, it's harmless. That's called defense armor. It's made to look scary to keep things from eating it. Pinch bugs don't pinch. They look scary to avoid being eaten. Knowledge is power. When you're me, and you're different, and you're expressive, and you're energetic in a world that is passionless, in a world that goes to drugs and crutches to deal with their problems, instead of gutting it out, and you're different, and you dress the way I dress, you are going to catch hell. Society demands conformity or else. I had an ant farm, but you're funny. Ever, you are funny. I had an ant farm. Great idea, parents. Parents love that. Oh, my kid wants an ant farm. Great. I'm going to have a bunch of insects in the house. They're going to get out, and then I'm going to have ants and everything. Fun. We never did use the toy for its intended purposes. I'm surprised there hasn't been a report out about magic rocks. the chemicals in it has caused cancer or something. Hey, Sabrina. Freebasing, you crack me up. I don't know what the current market price of iron ore is. The geopolitical climate in North Korea sucks. And ants growing wheat seeds, I'm not familiar with that one. David, I think of it, I have conviction, but I'm not perfect. Look what I admitted to yesterday on the live. I'm honest, I'm real, and people got a problem with that in this America. That's why so many people are pretentious and fake. They hide behind a truck, a shotgun, their weapons, their can of beer, their self-assumed machismo. That's why women are plastic. They don't hide that well, though. Going to a doctor's office time and time, or anywhere where there's a woman at the front desk. Hi, welcome to Dr. Seiler. Do you have an appointment? Yes, I'm here 10 minutes early like I'm instructed to do so. You go to church on Sunday, there is zero passion in the church. It's evidenced by the music. It's evidenced by the faces of the people. It's evidenced by the fact people won't even say hi to each other in there. And then people wonder why people check out or drown into something or commit suicide. No, nobody pays attention to these things because we're selfish. If you got your world going on, well, you know you're not paying attention to anybody else's world. Only good ants are chocolate ones. I've never had chocolate covered ants. They used to sell those at Niagara Falls, I heard, when I was young. Them fire ants pissed me off. The first time I was doing my yard work, I'm like, what the hell are all these mounds all over the yard? When it rains really hard, a day later, you'll see a mound that high of sand, dirt. Those things are incredible at moving earth fast. First thing I do is I kick it and I stand on it and kick my feet like a dog. Then I go get the raid and go ding 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 ding. About 5 minutes later, and there's all these ants upside down by the tons. I hate the things. They tell us down here to feed them grits. That's a wives' tale. Don't give them any food. They say the grit will expand in their stomach and kill them. I don't think that's ever happened. Oh no, these sting. If it gets on me, it'll bite and it hurts. They're so tiny. They're like the sugar black ants we had in LA. We called them sugar ants. They'd make a line to the kitchen, go right up into the cupboard to anything sweet that was open and completely encase it. Here, I learned anything that's open, you get a big plastic tub with the lid on the top of it. I don't do vermin in my house. When Tina was moving out, we had the door open. And that quick, I never saw it, but a couple mice got in. And I kept seeing something. I'd sit in the kitchen and I'd be, on the phone or whatever, and I'd see something. Damn mouse just went by. They got into my pantry. How they climbed up a straight painted wall and got onto each shelf, I have no idea. They must be jumping mice. They got into I had those rice pouches. They got into that and were gorging themselves on damn rice. Mouse poop on each shelf. I went in there one day. I said, what the hell is going on in here? Cleared all the shelves, threw out the open rice bags, cleaned the shelves off with the ammonia, and I set out the sticky traps. And within a day, one got caught in there, and that thing started squeaking and everything. And I'm just like, die, sucker! I'd go out. Sometimes I'd have the burn barrel going. I'd go out and go, mouse souffle. I hate mice. I have no compassion for them. Japanese mice. Yes, they were constricted to an only Asian diet. What ramblings is this? Somebody's just rambling on about I have no idea what. Chipmunks, squirrels, rats, mice, they live by their mouth. They chew and eat everything. They're no good. I do not like squirrels. They run along my new fence. They're getting acorns out of the tree. I had just resided the back room and they were going up the top of the siding at the corner and nibbling, trying to get into the soffits. Like, you sons of bitches. Fortunately, I had some aluminum that I cut into strips and put corner shields on. I need to clean that up because they look like shit. They can't climb up it now. It's what you do with a tree. You put about a 3-foot band of aluminum around the tree. They can't get up the trunk. And that's only if you got a freestanding. If you got a tree connected to any other tree branches or close, I've watched them. They'll jump. They're not no flying squirrels. I thought, did they ever miss? They ever miss? Because if they hit the ground from that height, it's going to knock them. It'll kill them. I've got a dray in the front yard and I can't reach it. I want to knock it out of there so bad. A dray is the nest that they make out of leaves. They piss on them, wrap it all together. It looks like a big giant bee's nest. And they have their babies in there. Eventually, Lord willing, I'll get that tree cut down and that'll be the end of that. Then they'll be relegated to the back there and no more acorns. Wow, Lawrence, that's wild. Friendly deer. Robertson, I'm not kind when they're tearing up my house and property. No, sir. I find a way to remove them. I like animals and I don't believe in harming, but pests, I don't have sympathy for them. You don't set food out for the animals. Then they'll bring more of their friends. Then you got a problem. Neeks! Neeks is awesome. She's an awesome woman. I'm going to tell you something, Robertson. I know what I'm talking about because when I was in Colorado, I used to feed them and we had a major infestation. And they still chew and try to get into the attics. So the couple that I took care of the property for, they asked me to start trapping them. I caught 100 squirrels a month. 100. They were eating everything. They'll eat wiring and start a house fire. When I started trapping them, the problems went away. I still get a call from somebody who's on renting the property, one of the rentals when I was there, still calls me, tells me that her neighbor's been feeding the birds and the rats have shown up. I said, yep, I told her that when I was there. Don't feed the animals. Now you got the rats getting under the house, in the crawl space, chewing on everything, dying under there. I had to trap rats, skunks, squirrels, raccoons, even caught a chinchilla. That one I put on Craigslist, and within 5 minutes, my email blew up and family came to the house to take it. A chinchilla can sell up to $1,500. They're from Peru. Had a little damage in its ear, but I knew what it was. I said, how in the hell did a chinchilla get up on the roof and where? Somebody must have had a pet and let it loose. Cute little thing. But these things chew everything. I had been told that squirrels, when they get angry, will chew stuff out of anger. They hate the smell of the wiring on plastic, so they chew it up. I remember Jim Woodworth had a mattress in the storage unit. The squirrels got into the storage unit on the back of the house, chewed up the mattress. Jim came and said, look what the squirrels did to the mattress. Mike, I need you to trap these. I said, I will. One day I was on the roof of the rental property and the crab apples would get all over it. If you didn't pick them up, it smelled like fermented wine. They'd choke up the gutters. I would fill a trash can, and boy, was that hard to lift that down. That was so heavy, and it stunk. And I just happened to look in the spruce tree. I said, what the hell is in there? Big old ball of mattress bedding that they had made into a giant nest. And I got the plum picker, extended the pull out, and I ripped it all out of there. Squirrels went flying in all directions. I said, you guys are done. It's over. War has been declared, and I will win. Isn't that a bug's life? Excuse me, who ordered the poo-poo platter? That was funny. Really, Franny? Yep, we had the woodpeckers in Colorado too. The home habits of some of the ethnic women out here is very, very bad. Rats and mice live in their homes with complete, unashamed glee. This is the time of the year you have to watch it every time you go in and out the door. This is when they're trying to get into the building because of the temperature changes. I was just working on the back room several years ago and I tore open 12 feet of wall. And I'd come in the door from that bedroom into the house and I left the door open. Did not dawn on me that field mice were going, oh yeah, we're moving on up to the east side. Now the word is on the street. Guido, the head mouse, says, don't go in there, man. Oh, no, it's warm. That guy don't feed mice. You'll come out in the tar pit, Luigi. I'm telling you, don't go in that house. Oh, come on, Guido. It's getting cold out here, but at least you're going to live. That boy don't play. I do not like mice. The minute I sense or see one, I'm sitting on the toilet with the bathroom door open. I was reading my devotional on it. Boom, down the hall. I said, what the hell was that? Mouse! One got in my closet here. I heard it. I started moving stuff around. I said, I was cussing at it, yelling at it. I said, you're going to die, mouse. You better give up. I put that sticky trap, put a cashew right in the center of it. Took me a week. I put a barrier up against the bottom so he couldn't get out. I trap him in there and make him only place to get food is right there. Come home from work one day and I hear the thunk, thunk, thunk. Damn back legs were stuck in it. Trying to get out. I just picked up the thing. I said, you mother, you're done. You're stupid. I went out, put it in the burn barrel. I don't play around with mice, and there are no rats in here. When I first moved here, the other family lived there. I'd see rats running alongside the house between my fence and their house. I told the guy one day, I said, you know, you got rats running around out here? Oh, I know, they're in the house. Now, rat, how'd you like that climbing on your bed at night and giving you a kiss? Oh, gosh. Ruby, what are you going on about? I've been talking. I've been reading all the comments, and you're running your mouth over here. Who is creating fear? What are you going on about? I'm trying to catch up on these comments. Ruby, I wear this because I like it. Go watch my 3-minute video and I'll answer your questions. You don't have to interrupt the flow of the chat. Because I like it. And I cannot lie. What else do you want to know? Does that chap your butt? I mean, what's the problem? Don't watch the channel. Problem solved. Go on about your day. Thank you. Have a good day. This is for people that have intelligence. This is for people who want community. Well said, Franny. It creates a huge amount of fear to see a man dressed in woman's clothes. I don't know anybody who's afraid of me. And I know more about human psychology and people because I've been around thousands. I've lived overseas. I've lived all over America. I drove buses for years. Ruby, honey, you're wrong. Nobody's afraid of Michael. Nobody. Nobody in this room. Look at Neeks. I wish I could post a picture of Neeks in the room, but I don't do that stuff without consent. Ruby Neeks is a beautiful woman. There's a lot of beautiful women in here. They're not afraid of me. I don't go in the girls' bathrooms, honey. Don't worry about that. I'm not one of those. I'm not a trans. I drove school buses for 20 years, passed background checks. I didn't dress this way at my job. I had a good reputation with students, administration at the schools, and my employers. So you'll have to use your argument somewhere else. No, I don't care, Ruby, because I don't live my life to please everybody. It's a fruitless and impossible endeavor. What may please you may not please somebody else. I don't live for Ruby. I spent all my life living for my mother's approval and all the abuse of women in my family. Did you care about that? Did you stand up when I was being abused? Did you come back and speak in my life then? No. Do you pay my rent, excuse me. Do you pay my house remodel? Do you pay my utilities, my property taxes? Do you give me a paycheck, Ruby? You want to hire me for $100,000 a year? If I'm working for you, then I got to dress the way you want me to. But meanwhile, I live in my home. I go and run my errands on Saturday and I dress like this. And you know what? Some beautiful women said, I like your eclectic and interesting style. Nobody's clutching their children and running in fear. I work in a warehouse, Ruby. I get dirty in there. Why would I wear this? If you worked in a warehouse, you gonna wear a dress? You gonna wear a tube top? No, I don't think so. Your argumentation skills are poor. You don't even have good comebacks worth merit. That's sad, Ruby. You need to develop your mind and your articulation skills. You're going to have an argument. You don't like it. Admit it. You don't like it. Well, Ruby, you didn't. You weren't there. Now you're here. Dollar late and a day short, whatever you want. $1 short and a day late. I needed you back then and nobody was around. You failed me, Ruby. You let me down. You hurt me, Ruby. You hurt me. I think a lot of women like lesbians anyway, so hey, I could be a male lesbian for you. I'm kidding. Don't take that too seriously. I know. I haven't kicked you out of the room. You're not a threat. Everybody has a question. But my challenge to you is, why does it bother you so much? I just said women's clothes are cheaper, they're more comfortable. Why is it we men have to be in a box and buy Hurley brand? I don't like a lot of men's clothes. And I shave. Ruby, I like being clean and smooth. I like being a little bit feminine because I've always had that. It's just who I am. That's not hurting anybody. I don't drive buses anymore. I don't work with kids. I don't want to work with children. When I was in a children's environment, I carried myself in a way that was appropriate around kids. Okay? I'm not in a kid's environment anymore. Don't want to be. Shoot, if I was a girl, I'd be a lesbian. I don't want to do another guy. Hairy, sweaty. Besides, I like a woman's breasts. They're fascinating. I know many women that like a woman's breasts. They've told me that. They like men, but they said, I just want to touch them. I want to lick them. So what? People need to be honest and real. Mr. E-Rock, how are you doing? Nobody's afraid of me when I go to the flea market. I got men and women smiling and looking at me. Some are turned on by it. I don't hook up with them. Ruby, my question is, if I'm walking around with an axe in my hand in public, then be scared. Or a gun. You're the only and the first only woman I've ever heard say you're frightened. You're not even 0.00001% of the population on that one. Nobody's ever said that. Yeah, Ruby, how about all the hatred that's been dished at me all my life? How about the hatred when people come in this chat and troll me and say horrible things? Stand up against that, okay? This is minutia. This is picking at gnats and straining at camels. Or swallowing camels, excuse me. How you doing, Ren? Neeks, am I allowed to say this? Am I allowed to say something you told me yesterday? I'm asking permission. That comment about me in a dress. Can I say that? Can I share that with the room? I think Ruby needs to hear that. It does not invoke fear. Oh my gosh. Hi, Tanya. Nobody needs to be confused. A man admits to wearing a woman's clothes. Extra, extra, read all about it. Mike Nelson likes the feel of a woman's top. How's Wall Street doing today? Oh, there's the funnies. This is not news, folks. That's right, Kid Cupid. That's it. We're just honest. Thank you. So Neeks told me yesterday, we messaged back and forth throughout the day, and she said, man, if you were here, I would love to see you in a dress, and I like to be a little bit dominant. That's fun. I said, and I would do that. Ruby, I've lived my life trying to please everybody, and I never could do it. My mother wasn't pleased. She didn't love me. She adopted me and rejected twice. My real mother, my adopted mother. Society at large rejects me. So, Ruby, you got a valid question. I've lived in fear. I've been bullied and chased home when I tried to dress normal, when I tried to do what everybody expected. I became a Christian. I wasn't Christ-like enough. You go to church on Sunday, you get beat up and guilted for all the things you're not doing right. Then people can't say hi, people can't smile, nobody cares about you. You know, I finally just said, live my life. Don't harm others. Work an honest living. Pay your bills and taxes. Make a difference in the world, and that's exactly what I'm doing. Tanya, how are you? Thank you, EM. I appreciate that. Non-invasive. Thank you, Elvin. Tanya. Oh, I see your comment there, Tanya. Oh my gosh. I didn't choose this because of abuse and trauma. I'm older now and I feel free. Come on, Ruby, admit. You're probably touching yourself. Come on. Why does this bother you so much? And why are you still here? If something bothers me on YouTube, I'm out. Off the channel. I smell good too. You could kiss me and lick me here. There's no smell. I smell good. You got to try this, Ruby. This is good stuff. This here, it's Kenneth Cole. This is these good body sprays. They're a little pricey, but I got one at Rose's. This stuff smells awesome. Very sexy. Neeks, come here. I want to put my arms around you and you can smell me and I can smell your hair and run my fingers through it. See? And Ruby, I want to be involved with a woman, not children or a grown man. Hello, Luna. How are you? 102 people here. We were up to 165. We got chat going. Thank you, Ruby, for your contribution. That's what we want. We've got to have the controversy. We got to have the chat and let the people speak. Speak. This is a chat for the people, by the people. I'm proud to be an American, where at least I know I'm free, and I can come into my own chat and speak on liberty, and I gladly pull up my tube top and salute the flag. I'm a conservative Christian, by the way, Ruby. That'll really send you into an airplane tailspin. This is mental. Ren, you have a good day. You don't know the definition of mental illness. You should have, before you got kicked out of the room, put a working definition on Google or AI or Webster's Collegiate Dictionary of mental illness. I am anything but mental. A mentally ill man cannot buy a house, remodel a house, go to work, face the culture, do the things I do, articulate. People that make accusations of mental illness are probably guilty of it themselves. My pronouns are Michael Nelson. I am a man, born a man, and I will die a man. I kept my penis because I love my penis. I'm not cutting off my penis. I'm not turning it into a taco. I'm not taking hormones to go boobies. Though it'd be fun to have my own tits. Ooh, my gosh, I could just manipulate my own nipples at my will. No, I want to feel another woman's nipples. Not the taco. Hey, Taco Tuesday bypasses me every week. I haven't had a taco in years. And I don't eat hot dogs, so boom. By the way, I asked somebody yesterday, somebody said in public to me, it puts the lotion on the skin. I said, hold up. What is that all about? People say that on my channel. It was my supervisor. I said, why did you just say, Mike, that was a badass movie. You've got the voice. That's not a put down. You've got the voice of that guy. He said, you got an announcer voice, but you sound like the guy in Silence of the Lambs. I said, so it's a compliment. He goes, yes, the movie was badass. I said, man, I've been taking it as an insult. I had no idea. Mr. E-Rock, did you know that? I didn't know that. I never saw the movie. Lobster Friday, dinner at Franny's. Bring the scampi butter and the shrimp. Lobster feed, live in Maine. Franny, I'll wear my top too. We'll come in there and we'll start a luau. What's that dance that they do? I cannot do that. Where they put the bar and you got to dance and lean all the way backwards. Man, I'd fall down on that one. What do they call that? I never saw it, Ed. Boxers are more comfortable than pants. You know, I don't like boxers because the thing hangs and flops out. Yeah, I'm guilty. I like my whitey tighties or my colored underwear. The Hanes are FTL, baby. Fruit of the Loom. Denver, that's right. Now, there's things I won't do. I won't wear heels. Those spiky little tall things and your foot like this. I don't think my foot is made for that. There's some dresses I like. I like this one. This one is nice. This one is very nice to wear. It's got kind of a I don't know what the word is I'm looking for. Where is it? Oh my gosh, it's so cold in this damn closet. I haven't built up and insulated the floor and it's still cold. I need to do a double ceiling in there, and I gotta insulate that trapdoor. That's all there is to it. Oh, the night is my world. City lights, painted girls. In the day, nothing matters. It's the night time that flatters. There you go, Ruby. We're all part of what? What are we talking about in here? Ruby, what is the problem? Are you free or are you bound up? Wait a minute, Ruby. Ruby is going to get scared when she sees this. Should I, ladies? Should I show her my man necklace? Should I do it? Now she's going to get concerned because I like to do what I call contrast fashion. Wear the woman's clothing, but then put on this. All right. All right, Ruby, I want to warn you, you're going to get nervous now. This is my normal necklace. Now that's hot. That's hot. Put that off the shoulder a little bit. Gotta have fun. It's clothing, Ruby. Colette, it'd be fun if you come over. I'll put it on you and I'll put your clothes on me. That'd be kind of sensual. I would do it too. I love some women's clothing, not all, but some looks good on me. I don't think that this makes me look like a little soy boy. I think it fits my persona. I like the style, believe it or not. The colors are awesome. Ruby, can I ask you some questions? What state do you live in? And how old are you? Neeks, I love you. Oh, you got timed out, so you gave up your chance, girl. We tried to tolerate, put up with you, and you're being ridiculous and irrational. Nobody has ever felt threatened by Pacific. That's me. That's my nickname. But I realize something. The only people that feel threatened are the ones that have hatred and have trolled and all that because they don't like the message. And they don't like the fact they can't do what they want with me, control me, fuck me, whatever it is they got up their rectum. That's the reality. I've had to learn something about human nature. It don't matter where I go, there's always some man, some woman that wants to control, corral. The only control I'm going to give somebody over me is what I give them. Niece wants me to wear a dress and she wants to dominate me. Bring it on. I'll let her. Because she's worthy and that might be fun. Neeks, we really ought to try that. I think that'd be awesome. Kind of a form of role play, cosplay. I'm game. That would be sexy. Thank you, Luna. I love the chain. Are you a dominator, Neeks? You kind of got that look, that raven black hair, and that you got that face. It's beautiful, but you got that look. I love it. Thank you, Truth. I appreciate that. What the fuck am I? I don't know, Fit Monkey. What are you? This might be outside your ability to comprehend. Luna, thanks for coming in. You have an awesome evening. I hope you come back. And if you like what like the content, what you see, like and subscribe. No pressure. I love all the women in here. I love it. I never made this happen. The women defend. The women stand up. I love it. That's an army you want. That's an army you want is women, because no crazy trolls are going to come against these women and win. That's like a sparrow going into the hen house and going to take on all the hens, and the hens are going to go, you're done. It's over. Luna, thank you for that. That makes me feel special. I still think we ought to have a slumber party at my house, all the ladies. Oh, yes, it's ladies' night. They'd be like, look at this. All these women with one man dressed up, and we're all dressed out in lingerie, leaning everywhere, just having good conversation and fun. But when those lights go out, woo, baby. Sorry, I'm human. Luna, I think it'd be awesome. Elvin's bringing the popcorn. That's fun. Spicer, that's funny. I like the emojis. Man, I got up this morning. I did a short and started getting a Woody because that satin just feels so sexy. What is wrong with being in touch with yourself? My greatest experience was being nude at Flatwoods Park. Man, if I'd have gotten caught for that, I would have been in so much trouble. I took off all my clothes, had my sandals on, walked into the Florida jungle, buck naked. It was overcast, so I didn't get sunburned. It was warm. The air was blowing on my... Oh, it felt so erotic. And we're so ashamed of our bodies, and so, as a Christian, you can't think about... I'm sorry, there's a lot of Christians that are so uptight. They're not winning people for God. They're not setting an example. People talk about being a perfect witness for Christ. Okay, chain yourself up. You're never going to be perfect, so stop. We do need to do what God wants us to do. But how many of us do it all the time in every way, thought, word, or deed? Who's done it? People like to pretend. But Mike, you can't wear women's clothes. I am, and I am. So why not? Because the Bible. Well, the Bible says a lot of things. Do you follow all of the other laws and rules and statutes and requirements in the Old Testament? Are we under grace or are we under law? You can be Jordan Riley. Jordan Riley thinks he's the only one that has the accurate understanding of Scripture. People are paying to listen to his erroneous stuff. Charlie Kirk is wrong. Everybody's wrong except Jordan Riley. I don't do that. I do call out false religions, and I'll never apologize for that. But Charlie Kirk told the truth. Charlie Kirk believed in faith in Lord Jesus. What is the problem? And my alarm is going to be, say, oversleep. Satin sheets and baby oil can lead to a sprained ankle. What is going on over there, Cheryl? Oh, put satin sheets on me and a girl rub oil all over my body. I'm done. Washed up, beached whale. It's over. Spicer, you have a good one. Thanks for coming in. $7 a pound? Boy, that's not bad. How much was that for the whole lobster? I think, what is it? Red Lobster for one tail. Well, the dinner is it's like $30 now. Do you have a Red Lobster in Maine, Franny? Did they even exist up there? The restaurant chain? Old Spice jammies. I'd love to have a slumber party with a bunch of women, scantily clad, talking into the night, their shoulders exposed, bra straps falling. Some people think you're a pervert. No, I love the woman's body. I love the way they can do things. That's very highly arousing. It's like I said, sometimes just a woman being scantily clad is more provocative than being bold faced naked. It's the effect, it's the way it is. The suggestiveness of it is awesome. I had a Korean girlfriend years ago said, "You should write Harlequin. You'd be very good at it." And I said, "I've thought of that." I did start to do that in my story about the micro. I have left out when I told my stories the other night. These ladies that live with me, it did get rather sordid in the story. I was pretty open about some things. And we tolerated and allowed some things within our community that other people would look in and go, Sakuri was beautiful, and all the women thought. Rosa loved women. Edith loved me, but she liked to have a tryst with one of the gals on occasion. It was fun. I explored the idea of just letting my write the way I've always wanted to express. It's sad because I became a Christian in 1985 and I tried to do what good Christians are supposed to do. And as I grew and my understanding of the Bible and stuff, I got out there and I've just all my life felt like there's something wrong with me because I will never fit in no matter what. And only in the last couple of years did I start changing my dress style. And, when I got divorced, there are churches that don't believe if you're divorced and you're a Christian when you're divorced, you can't be part of the leadership, teaching, or anything at the church. You got churches that they got people that just don't show love. They believe the right stuff, but there's no love. You go to churches that show love and they're doctrinally off the wagon. And I've said this about America. We're a pendulum nation. We swing to extremes. And people, I'm sure they think this is an extreme. Maybe it is. They say, oh, he's having a midlife crisis. He's woke. He's gay. Are you coming out? Are you transing? I've been trans all my life. Transoceanic, trans country. I've crossed America. I've crossed the Pacific. The term cross-dresser, I don't use that. No, I'm not a cross-dresser. I like wearing women's clothing on occasion. More now than I did before. One, because of the reaction. The women are the ones, beautiful women. They're responding even out there. Oh my gosh, I love your style. I had a woman come up to me in Walmart. She was from New York. She goes, I'm sorry to ask you this, but what is that perfume you're wearing? And I told her. She goes, I love that smell. I said, thank you. I said, I'm a guy, but I like. She goes, no, I think that's awesome. I love your outfit, by the way. And we started talking. Very nice lady. Thank you, Elvin, and thanks. And I hope you come back again. I'm amazed. It turns me on and it flatters me the way women have responded positively. Now, there's some that don't. Let me make it clear. You got some women out here. I'm going to say something bold. I don't care about what the black community thinks about Michael. It doesn't matter how nice, how faithful, how kind. You are not ever going to be part of their world. They've got a wall up, not me. I had women out there judge me that were obese. Their hygiene was questionable. Mike, you shouldn't have long hair. Mike, why do you wear your shirt off your shoulder? And I'm nice. I'm not going to turn around and be rude. especially when I'm the minority, especially, as a Christian. Calm answer turns away wrath. And I want to act like some people go, well, it's none of your damn business, and be a jerk about it. But in all actuality, I want to say, yeah, you'd look good with a lot less pounds on you and if you used a razor under your arms, but hey, but I don't. Because women can say something in our society, but if I say something, I'll be in office. I would have been fired way before I was. It's sad. You can't be honest. In our society, women can say and judge me, but if I say something truthful back, that's going to hurt them. Then they're going to get pissed. Then, to the women, if you don't want people judging you, do not say something to us because one of these days I'm going to get bold. Say, is that so? Well, I think you'd look great if you lost about 100 pounds and used a razor under your arms. Maybe I should say that. And when they get mad, I'll say, why are you getting upset? You felt the need to judge my style. See, we could even do this. This really doesn't match, but shoot. There we go. I think it'd be fun to try on clothes with the women. I think it'd be awesome. I'd let them put the makeup on me and I'd have fun. Ruby doesn't make sense. She just confirms what we've all known all along. They got a problem with it, but they stay and they harp and they harp and they harp. And whose wife that said these women are probably feeling themselves while they're judging Michael? Never thought about that. You know why I believe that? Because some people that are harping and banging on something are probably secretly going, oh my gosh, that's hot, but it's wrong. It's hot, but it's wrong. And they got this dichotomy. I've been around people like that. Oh, sexual sin is wrong. Adultery's wrong. Masturbation's wrong. Then you catch them looking at porn. What you doing there, buddy Bob? Truth, that'd be awesome. The fear. Who is afraid of me dressing like this? It's like when people at transportation were reacting to my video horror shorts that had nothing to do with work. So stupid. He's walking around in what looks like a house, my house, with an axe and creepy music. And the superintendent of the public schools spelled out the name of the music and everything like, wow, this is so terrible. I'm in my house because I'm unemployed and I'm doing shorts. Are you serious? Stupidity. You saw that letter, Tanya. I sent it to you. The superintendent of Richmond County Schools here is not qualified, is not leadership material. She's a feminist, she's a liberal, and she wants to crucify a man for being different. I did not lose my job because of insubordination. I did not lose my job because of my work ethic or my attendance. They're fools. They got rid of the best guy they've ever had that repaired 99% of the buses that were tore up on the bus seats over a video I did in my home defending a white woman beaten down in Cincinnati by 6 Afrocentric people. I didn't use the N-word. I criticized Cardi B and Nicki Minaj and the use of the N-word by the black community and how they'll scream and yell. This white woman that was beaten didn't say the N-word and they attacked her anyway. I was at work yesterday. And we have one female. We're going to stop right there. I'm not going to get personal, but she was using a piece of equipment, but she got out of it. I said, can I borrow that? Because I need to go up and get some. She ignored me. I said, ma'am. She ignored me. I said, ma'am. There was another guy standing there. So now you can only ignore me so much. I said, can I borrow that so I can get something out of there because I can't get down here with the other item because you guys put stuff in the aisle. I'm going to say it. The ethnic women out here, many of them are extremely rude. They get away with it, but let one of us be rude to them, they're going to fight, scream, yell, or get you in trouble. I'm going to say it again. This ethnic culture out here is not my cup of tea. I am very much into diversity. I am very much into ethnicity. But there's an element with this specific ethnicity in this specific region of our world that is nothing but a negative. It doesn't matter that I work hard, doesn't matter if I'm nice. Somewhere, some of these clowns are going to get into it with me because it makes them look bad. They don't like the way I roll. Who wants to be around people like that? Most employers want good workers. And there used to be a time when people took pride in their job. Now people see how much they can get away with, how much they can fook around, waste time, and do nothing and get paid for it. Nothing about school. Absolutely. I'd have no problem sending the letter to anybody who requested it. Well, within reason. I'm an open book. I read it online. I just didn't mention her name. That letter was 100% bullshit. And it's interesting, since I've gone, transportation is taking a continual downturn. I wish every driver would just walk out. Then they'd really be fucked. It'd serve them right. They don't treat the drivers right. They don't treat the supervisors right. But you got a supervisor in there who's white and yells and screams and is trailer trash to everybody. She still has a job. They won't fire anybody who's affecting negatively and causing drivers to quit, including black women that she's talked rudely to, which I'm against that. But they fire me what I did in my kitchen. 3 minutes short. I still have it on my phone. We live in a very, very contrary society. So people that come on here and get all up in arms about my clothes, they think I'm weird at transportation anyway. Why not live up to it? I look better in these clothes than any of the women I worked with. Boom, how's that for thinking? We finally arrived at a time where I, as a man at 59, can look better wearing feminine clothing than the feminine women. Sad, huh? What if your pastor, then my pastor sees it? Mike, why are you doing that? Could he tell me you can't come to the church anymore? Okay. I'm not going to fight. The only thing I'm getting out of is his messages. Last Sunday, watching him berate a boy for falling asleep in the pew, I thought, okay, you know what? We got bigger problems out here than this. That ain't right. That ain't right. Cheryl, but they say I am. They say I am. Ralph, how are you? Tanya. I don't believe I'm weird. I believe I'm different. I'm in touch with myself. And I chose to do something a lot of people won't do. Strut my style. Let the chips fall where they fall. I think it'd be funny if somebody saw my YouTube video and said, oh my gosh, I'd love for you to be hired at my club as a dancer. Would you do it? Absolutely. There are certain things I wouldn't do. I have to keep Christian integrity at the forefront, and you got a lot of Christians that have a problem with the way I'm dressed. You have a problem with the way I'm dressed, but you don't look at your materialism. You don't look at your obesity. You don't look at the fact you love dogs more than people. You don't look at the fact you drive like an idiot. You look down your nose at everybody at church that isn't just like you. Those are greater errors than what I'm doing. Those are things that affect us My clothing does not affect your day. It does not make your day good or bad. Your attitude towards me can affect and color my mood for the rest of the day. My validation. Thank you, Ralph. Appreciate that. A little of both, Truth. A little from both. The old stalwarts and the young pups. Tanya, I think Ruby probably has her bedroom light on all night long. She probably has the TV and the stereo. She's probably. Did you ever see the movie What About Bob? Bill Murray trying to come out of his apartment and scared to touch anything. Neeks, I would let you dress me and caress me and put the lotion on the skin. You know, it's fun. It's fun. Well, thank you, Mr. Droob. I appreciate that. Shall we have a moment of silence? No pun intended for Silence of the Lambs. Tanya, you're timely. Oh, say, can you see Michael's wearing a dress and the people go wild and the trolls just can't help it and they smart off all day, but on my channel they'll stay even though through the night some say gives them a fright. Oh, where did Ruby go when she was hidden from the room? Oh, she's there in her chair, crying tears of gloom. That was totally on the moment. I don't know. You want to see? Here, let me see. Well, I got sweatpants and underwear on. That ain't going to work. Tanya's pretty too, by the way. I'd like to see all these ladies here scantily clad have a slumber party and everybody just enjoying themselves. That'd be awesome. Ditch the sweat. Well, hold on. I got to change up here. Oh, I can't go naked on here. They'll shut my channel down, ladies. I'm not doing an OnlyFans. That would be fun, though. I'm not going to lie, it would be fun, but I am not doing it. Cannot do that. Cannot do that. It's a little too chilly in the room to go totally naked here. I don't know. If a woman came over and aroused me, though, it might get, it's getting hot in here. Please take off all your clothes. Oh, yes. Yeah, I wish I didn't burn all my clothes. What a waste. Those were nice, some of them. That's sad. That's too bad. Cheryl just wants to see my small butt. That's all. Wow, I can't believe this. Putting on a show for the ladies. That's funny. Everybody would be like, Mike, What are you doing? This is a public venue. This is what happens. This is what happens. There we go, folks. My contribution to humanity. Isn't that awesome? Watch the trolls get off on this one. Woo, baby, they're going to light it up like a rocket's red glare. Thank you, Cheryl. I like my legs. Ooh, I got to be careful. My undies will show. Yep, this is Doggy's favorite. I used to just sit here and very, very carefully. People got a kick out of that. Shoot, come on over and I'll put it on for you. I'll put it on you, Cheryl. I think it'd be fun. Why does everything have to be so black and white? I don't care what anybody says. There's grown men that will try women's clothes on and get arousal, but they'll never admit that. They'll never tell anybody. Never. They'll never admit to that. That's crazy. I just think honesty is a better way to go myself. You know what? And I think you're right about that, Neeks. I think even these guys that come on here saying stuff, they keep coming back. And my thing is, if this is so awful, if I'm so mental, why do they keep coming back? And I think what they're doing, because all right, I'm going to be honest. I'm going to just put myself out there. I struggled for years with looking at pornography, and there's several schools of thought on that. There are some Christians that say that when you look at porn, it's destructive to a relationship. I don't agree with that. If I can stop looking at porn and I can still be turned on by a natural woman, just walking by in a tight top. There's some girls that I have looked at, women, that they move me so much that I can continue to get turned on by them. The problem is we hook up with people that we're not compatible with. And when you don't have that compatibility, their good looks are going to fade. So, I think that if watching something bothers you so much, then stop. So I had this dichotomy. I had become a Christian. And I remember walking, I was married. I was in a crappy marriage, my first one. And I'd take long walks out of the town of Prescott, out the old abandoned railroad tracks, way out. I told everybody this recently. I found a stack of Playboys in the sagebrush. I was like, huh? And the pictures I saw, I was like, wow, these women are beautiful. And I was out there was nobody, and I jacked off. And then when I went walking, I'd go and look for them again. But then I'd tell everybody, pornography's wrong, pornography's wrong. Women that do that are just evil. It took me years to finally say, if it's so wrong, then why are you looking at it? Because I like it. Do you really believe those women are evil? No, I'm thankful that they're letting me see what they look like. So admit it. Admit it. I love the slinky clothing women wear. I like to wear some of that. And I guess I started doing it as I got older because I look around at most of the men my age. They're frightful looking. They're hairy, everything is huge. They're not man beautiful. And I'm in touch with my body and I'm alone and I've teased and ridicule. I look in the mirror and I'm going, I'm attracted to my own body. Is that a narcissist? There are psychologists who analyze me and say, oh, this guy's a mess. No, I'm not. There's women that love their body. Is that bad? I think there's a narcissism like these young girl TikTok queens. Now that, I don't got no time for that. You think you're too good for anybody. Actually, it doesn't, Steve. But I remember I got offended. The Playboy or Penthouse or whatever it was, they showed a naked woman on a cross. That I did not like, and I ripped it out, tore it up, threw it. I said, that's an insult to the cross. No. See, people want to say, Mike, you're not very Christ-like. Really? Don't make a mockery of that cross. Does everything I do reflect biblical holiness? No, it doesn't. But how many of us do? Everybody I know likes sex, sexual, erotic, fetishes, kinks. Who doesn't? So we play this game. Sex is only reserved for those that are married. Most of the marriages are miserable as hell, even in the church. And I'll tell you what, when you be honest and you assess, and you finally stand alone and just do your thing, you're going to get pushback. I don't know what Pastor would do if he saw me dressed like this. Would he tell me I can't go to the church? I'm not a member. I would tell him, I said, I'm not there. I'm not affecting anybody. I come to hear the truth. If I was a pastor, I'd say, hey, I may not agree with him, but he's not affecting anybody and he's doing, he's hearing the truth. Now, if he starts doing things that's causing a problem in the congregation, that's a different story. Thank you, Neeks. And you better love yours. You're a pretty lady. I don't think there's anything wrong with being happy with the package God puts you in. And I, as a man, I've never fit with other men because there's this extreme gayness on the one hand and this extreme macho on the other. I'm neither one. I'm macho, but I'm feminine. And I don't mean feminine. I mean, I love feminine things. I said I like erotic photography of two women naked leaning against each other, them looking into each other's eyes, and their breasts are hard and stand at attention, their nipples, and they're just touching. That is beautiful photography. I don't call that perverted. I think it's art. I think the way women can express is amazing, that they're comfortable with their bodies, that they can hug another woman and their breasts are leaning against. I like that. It's not the same for men. Two men naked leaning against each other just conjures up everybody going, ugh. Women have an ability to pull it off. I'm open in ways most Christians are not. I personally don't have a problem if two women want to show intimacy towards each other. Is it wrong in the Holy Bible? Yes, it is. I'm damaged. I saw my mother and father that adopted me. I saw the way they interacted. It was shitty. My mother was horrible to Fred. She ought to be ashamed of herself. He'd try to love her and hug her. She'd push him away. He made the money. He bought the houses. And she treated him like shit. Made fun of him. Their marriage was a joke and a sham. And my dad didn't have the guts to stand up, put his foot down and say, I refuse to take this anymore. I, as a young man, needed to see a man in my life, and I didn't. I saw a pussy. And I was a pussy all my life. Afraid of everything. Afraid of my own damn shadow. That's not the case now. I move into a mostly black community. Even my own son said, I couldn't do that. I couldn't do what you did, Dad. You should sell your crib and get the hell out. I said, I'll leave when God tells me to, not when the community or anybody else. God opens doors, God shuts doors. He gave me a job. God does care about me. He cares about the time I put in this house. He does. I've said on here, God doesn't care about your house and your car. He doesn't. But he does. God loves us, and that's something I still can't get my arms around. And God has given me the grace to go through whatever the hell people think I'm going through. I'm not a serial killer. I'm not into violence. I don't support that. I want to be sensual. And Christians are right there to quote the scripture. Quote it at yourself. Quote it at yourself. All the rest of them. All the other passages. Don't just cherry pick one. I don't care if some 500-pound black women think I'm ridiculous for wearing what I wear. Why in the hell would their opinion matter to me? It wouldn't, it shouldn't, it couldn't. Why would I care about some southern twanging Christian women with fake dyed blonde hair that are chubby and wear dress barn clothing think that my long hair is a sin? But I see all your tattoos, so obviously you went out and raised hell once. I am judgmental. I am very judgmental because I've been judged. I'm very critical because I've been criticized by our Christian society, by the parent or the mother that raised me. I try to judge rightly. I try to critique rightly. A lot of people can't handle me because I look at the world very black and white. I don't have a problem speaking out against false religion because I didn't go through those environments where I was, I don't want to speak up and rock. My boat was rocked by tsunamis over and over again, shipwrecked. And when you go through enough of that, finally you say, you know what? I'm going to pull up my pants one day and I'm going to make an honest assessment of what the fuck my mother's doing to me and call it out. And I did. And that's when I felt the Holy Spirit show me, about time you stood up and grabbed your manhood. Women and society need men to tell the truth. And there's men that will come on, well, Mike, I'm trying to tell the truth and you reject me. I reject you because you're telling me what you want me to be or you're playing God. I'm not going to listen to it. Do I walk with God as I should every day? No, I don't. I can't. I've tried. It's impossible. Do I want God out of my life? Your love is like oxygen. I need him just as much as I need my next breath. When I stand before God, I know I'm not going to get an A+ on my Christian report card. Okay? I have my strengths. I have my weaknesses. God saved me. The Bible says he. Pay attention to pronouns. He. Pay attention to verbiage and word and construct of sentence. He who began a good work in you. Stop right there. He'll bring it to completion if you do your part. Mike Nelson will bring it to completion. No, it says he who began a good work in you will bring it to completion. He, God. But no, we're told the church, you got to strive, you got to do this, you got to put to death, no, the Bible does say, put to death, therefore, whatever belongs of your earthly nature. Clearly, I'm not doing that. The Bible says sensually earthly of the devil. Wow, that means because I'm sensual, I'm earthly and of the devil. That's great. But here's the thing. When we became a Christian, God did not teach us how to fake it until we make it. God reveals what we are. That's why you see, I've wanted to dress this way. I love women's clothing. I admit, my sister doesn't know this. She don't need to know it. She had a graduation gown that was satin gold. She had left to go to college, and I got in. Nobody was home, and I wore her gown, and I jacked off in it. No, I didn't get a mess all over it, because I'm not like that. It felt good to have that satin rub against me. It was sexy. I never went and told anybody that. You know, the problem is we live and think about what other people think too much. People will do something wrong. If they know others will catch them, they won't do it. But if there's nobody around, even though God is in heaven and sees it all, then they'll still do it. We value the opinions and the peer pressure of others more than what God thinks. And I'm here to shatter that. Is me wearing woman's clothes wrong in God's eyes? According to Deuteronomy 22:5, yeah. It is. So why do you do it? Because I want to. I need God to work in my life in such a way that He changes my heart. But watch this. We as Christians, oh God, take away my lust. Take away my sex drive. Take away my anger. Take away this. He doesn't, does He? He doesn't. Why is He going to take away what He gave you on the biological spectrum? I'm attracted to women. I'm asking God, take away my attraction to women? Why? You know, passion, sexuality is part of that. You take that sex drive away, you got nothing left, passion-wise. I'm going to say it again. Classical Spanish music composer made one of the most beautiful pieces of music to his ailing wife. The most romantic literature, the most romantic classical pieces of music were motivated by lust, by sensuality. Thank God for that. It'd be a boring world. Look at the women that dress and act like guys today and listen to the music that women listen to today in America. It's nails on a chalkboard shit. I'm amazed that a lot of women don't like the music I like, and my music is harmonious and it's feel good. And women listen to grating, irritating, rebel, I don't know what. I used to look at My Free Cams, which was women. You could watch women undressing and stuff, and if you want to go into private chat, you have to buy tokens. I never did all that. Every single one of them played shitty music. Every one of them. They all have the same voice. Hi, guys. That nasally voice. Thought they were all out on a stick. You could see their bedroom and all their immature decorations, and you're like, wow, no wonder they're not married. Women have devalued themselves in this culture. I have been attracted to tom girls, but I don't want to marry a girl that's acting like a dude and dressing like, I don't want to date a woman with a ball cap on. But me, let's talk about this. But Mike, you're a Christian. But Mike, I'm a Christian. What does that mean? You got pastors screwing the pooch. You got pastors making big money, begging for money, pushing about money. I'm going to say something. I'm going to say it loud and clear. Okay. I am not where I should be. But forcing myself, playing a game, doesn't get me there. Does anybody understand that? Does anybody grasp that? I want to dress feminine. I want to feel sexy. Is it unbecoming of man? Probably is. Are we all messed up in some ways? Everybody, including Ruby and all the trolls that come in criticizing my dress. Look at the people who criticize. Look at how nasty they are. That's a fruit of the Spirit. It's one thing to share with somebody, but I find that most Americans love to criticize. They love to come in and say, Mike, you're wrong. Mike, the Bible says this. Child of God kept doing it. He's not here anymore. He didn't get the attention he wanted, and he's out. And people say, oh, Mike's against me posting scripture in the room. Yeah, when you're trying to use scripture to condemn and convict me on a video, sure. Yeah, I get irritated at that. I'm dancing to music. What is the problem? I'm sorry you don't know how to dance. I learned to dance in Hong Kong. I was going to write a book titled that. We live our lives to the expectations of others, and it is a bondage. It is an oppressive bondage. Guess what? We're supposed to live for Christ. And we spend more time worrying about what others think. Yeah, I get intense when I dance, Jess. I do. I'm sorry about that. I smile when I make love. I haven't made love in so long. You know, can I say something, ladies? We men, when we've been at work and we've had female coworkers and stuff, and they're really nasty all the time, you know what men usually say? Man, she needs to get laid. It's true with us. It's true with us. Getting laid is so good. It's so relaxing, so affirming. The power of the right woman with me would do wonders. I'm proof right here that I'm not the answer to my own self. I'm not. How can I be? It's not good for man to be alone, and I'm alone. It's not good for a lot of the women to be alone. They're alone. And then you go to church and they're condemning masturbation. For the love of Pete. I cannot not relieve myself. I like to touch myself. Sometimes visual aids are nice. I don't need a vibrator. I don't need a blow-up doll. I wouldn't even use one anyway. Either or. Something is wrong with Christians. They feel like berating, condemning, and harping is going to change somebody. It never does. It never has, and it never will. So stop. Stop it. Change yourself if you want to see change in others. I've watched all these, not all, but some of these no-fap videos. Well, if you don't want to fap, don't fap. Who came up with that term? Who came up with the term masturbation? What a word. What is masturbation? Shoot. Self-stimulating. Whatever. We need sex. But we don't need to go and hook up with the opposite sex. God says it's wrong just to go and have sex. But I also think it's equally wrong to race to marriage thinking, oh, well, I don't want to sin sexually, so I'm just going to marry her. Oh, wow, you really walked into a baited trap, didn't you? Really walked into a baited trap. Yikes. Now that's scary. Because if you get in a bad marriage, it's going to be A lot of damage trying to get out of it. Angry people, financial issues. Yeah, not cool. What is there? No. I am not an example of perfection, Christian holiness. People say all the time, you shouldn't even talk about Christ with the things you do. Okay, so you don't do the things I do, but you don't get on the channel and talk about God. You don't confront evolution and wrong-headed liberal politics. You don't talk about anything, so what are you doing? You're so perfect. But guess what? In spite of my own foolish self, this channel has an effect on people. It reaches people. Ask Mr. E-Rock, ask Mob, ask the women, ask others. Has my channel made people move further away from God? Has it made them reject God? Or has it brought them closer? You tell me. I'm not perfect, but I do talk about God without any shame. Most Christians are scared shitless to talk about God to other people. It's too intimidating. So, yeah, I cuss, I lust, I dress feminine. But there's more people watching my channel this morning than will go to the church all year where I go, in numbers. Not putting my pastor down, not doing that. But my point, God can use even me in spite of my own self. Notice that. And he does, he has, and he will. Self-righteousness is a cancer, and it's not a good one. There is no cure for that, except the humbling hand of God. Yeah, divorce is shitty. It's crappy. It's just... It's like when you throw up. All that bile and stuff coming up your throat gives you a sore throat. It hurts to throw up. Hi, Jessica. Oh, got you. I'll read it. I need to get off of here. It's that time. It's the hallowed day of the week for millions of people that go to work. It's Friday. Friday ought to be a national holiday every week. We should work 4 days a week, get paid for 5, make the wheels of business grind to a halt, Amazon and everything, and make people get back to what's real. Employers should stop chumping people. Mr. E-Rock, is everything okay? You got me worried. Thank you, Jessica, and you too. Now I got to read this message. I got to go, folks. Neeks, I will message you soon. Thank you, and you guys have a good day. And thank you for coming. Thank you for your support. Got you. Oh, wait. Does it have anything to do with this? Wait. Let's see. Let's see. Get past all my naughty photos here. Where is... There it is. Where is it? Where is? Anybody know who this pair is? Anybody know who this pair is? I don't. Somebody sent me that. Said you might want to hold on to this picture. And that's all I got. Yeah, I don't either. Looks like an ordinary couple to me. But does that look like Tim Waltz? Does that look like Tim Waltz? Huh. Does she look familiar? I don't know them personally. But somebody sent that saying, I need to archive that. What I am going to say, I don't know these two. But you can have an ordinary couple that when they get together and have sex can produce, the semen can produce some awful, crappy offspring. We're going to leave it at that. But does anybody know who this is? That was another photo that was sent to me. Looks like wearing a tie, collared shirt, suit jacket. I don't know who these people are. Maybe it's her dad? You don't think they're married? I don't know. One thing that we've had to become aware of is that two seemingly got it together people, they can be okay. And they can have a child, and that child can be just awful to society. Shocks me. Or you could have a couple that adopted Michael, and they were awful to me. And I'm still judged as harshly by society as my mother did me. And I'm good for society. I've done good in my job. I've done good in my neighborhood. I've done good with the house. And it's funny how the opposites work. How opposites work. It's a weird thing. Tanya, I don't know. I do not know. Sometimes I get cryptic stuff sent my way. I just wanted to know if anybody recognized them. Thought I'd put it out there. Well, yeah, I don't know who this guy is. I don't know. But ever since I get on social media, strange shit happens. Anyways, folks, y'all have a good day. And just remember, I'll send you this one. Where is it? There's a photo here that I find fascinating. If I can find it. Even grown women like to look at each other's breasts. This is a black and white photo back in the day. You can't see the woman with the black top on. Her eyes are looking straight down at that woman's tots. And that photograph that caught the attention of many back in the day. They said she's looking at her breasts. I said, I think that's awesome. Might be some chest envy going on there. Who knows? fringe channels, and it might be jealousy. But I love the photo. I love the contrast of two women scantily clad sitting by each other. It's very fascinating. I'm glad I can be honest. God has a piece of work with me. No doubt. I am a piece of work. I've got a long way to go. My thoughts do not always reflect the glory or the holiness of God, but whose do all the time? Who does? Even the monks wrote down their confessionals how lustful they were in isolation. They struggled even more with it. Maybe that's my problem. I'm isolated in a community. I would appreciate your prayers. I do not have a problem if a woman is attracted to another woman. I don't know why that is. I think it's hot. I think it's erotic. I think women are freer to do that than men are. I have always admired pretty women all my life, and I always watch when they're brushing each other's hair and fooling with each other, and the need to do that. I'm like, see, women can do that. I'd love to have another woman brushing my hair. Well, there's nothing to brush now, but just that attention. Thank you, Tanya. Now, Jess, I don't agree with that. Not all men or women are beautiful. Not all. You can have a beautiful heart, but not everybody's physically beautiful. I cannot say that. I cannot look at a 500-pound woman with hairy armpits and say, wow, she's a beaut. Can't do it. I cannot do it. I cannot tell myself that. She's ugly. A grown man with a big old belly and hairy, sweaty, and gross and bald is not handsome to me. I can't tell myself that. I can't make myself believe it. But anyways, thank you. You guys have a good day. Be safe. Stay tuned for more seatbelt strapping stuff and controversy and lighten the fuse. Attraction and beauty. I think they are with a lot of women. Sometimes I look at what women choose as a man and I'm like, they married a cash register. They married a cash register because she could do better than that, but she's after the money. I've seen that. Much love, Ruby. Yeah, Ruby, if you're listening, I pray that God helps you get over whatever it is you're struggling with, because you got a greater problem than me. It's just clothing, Ruby. That's all. That's all. I'm not a drag queen reading story time to children in a library in Minneapolis. Not my cup of tea. All right, folks. We're out of here. Stay safe.